Okay, good morning, everyone. As we go to the Chita, so today is Tuesday. We're holding the portion of Shemais, holding the chapter 2, verse number 11. Yibiyam Mehem came to those days. It happened in those days. A second. Yibiyam Mehem, it happened in those days. Moshe grew up. He went out to his brothers, and he saw in their burdens. And he saw a Egyptian man, Maki Ishivri, that he was beating up a Jewish person, from his brothers. Rashi says, Moshe, he already said that he grew up. If the Rashi brings down like a he says, Rabbi Yehuda said, Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Rabbi Eloi, said the first one, Vayigdal, was in growth, became an adult in height. The second one was in greatness. This one, Vayigdal, is the way where Paro made him actually, because Paro appointed him over his house. She says he directed his eyes and his heart to be distressed over them. Ish Mitzri, he was a taskmaster appointed over the Israelites. Officer, he would wake them up when the rooster crowed and called them to work. He's the one who woke them up. Maki Ishi the Ivri was lashing him and driving him. The Hebrew man was the husband of Shilamet, the daughter of Dibni, who was mentioned later in Leviticus. And he, the taskmaster, laid eyes on her. He decided that he's the boss. He's gonna live with. He's gonna have a relationship with her. So he woke him. He woke the Jew up at night, took him out of the house, and then the taskmaster returned, entered the house, and had an intimate relationship with this woman, while she thought it was her husband. The man returned home and became aware what happened. When the Egyptians saw that he became aware, so he started to beat him up a whole day. So he turned here and there. He saw that there was no man. And he hit the Mitzri. He killed him. And he hit him in the sand. Now she says, means that he saw what the Egyptian had done with him, the Jew in the house, and he saw what he was doing with him in the field. So he saw this guy was an evil guy. That's the medrash. The simple meaning is, according to the apparent meaning, he looked in all directions. He wanted to find out if anybody was looking. And he saw there was no man destined to be descendant of this guy. The guy has no value. He had no value, not in this world, not in this time, and not next time. Next in whatever in history. Then he went out the second day. Behold, he saw two Jewish men, Nitzim, that were arguing. And he said to them, Rasha, he said to him, wicked person, why are you hitting the guy? Now she said, who are these two guys? Here we are introduced to two guys that we're going to have through till the story of Kairach. We're going to talk about these guys. These are the two guys. These are the guys left over the man. These are the guys that made Moshe Rabbeinu Tzaddis from day one. Even they were fighting. Lamasaka, why are you hitting him? Even though he didn't hit him, he just picked up his hand against him. Nikarasha by Lamasiyad, he's called a wicked person by picking your hand against somebody else. The Yacha, what means your friend? Rashka Maisel, he's a wicked person like you. Verse 14, Vayema mi some Khalish, they said to him, who made you? Who made you a big knacker? Shara Sefer, who made you a prince and a judge over us? Do you plan to slay me? Kasharaktas and Mitzvah, you're going to kill us like you killed the Mitzvah? Yida Moshe, and Moshe became frightened. And he said, indeed, the matter has known that I killed a Mitzvah. Now she says, Misam Chlish, you're still a youth, you're still a lad. He was a mitzvah, according to some. He was 13, 14 years old. Do you say to slay me? From here we learn that he didn't have to. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't kill the guy by hitting him. Moshe Rabbeinu said God's name, and the guy disappeared. Ayira Moshe. This is to explain, according to the simple meaning, that Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid of Pharaoh would kill him. The Medrash says, interprets it to mean that he was worried because he saw Israel wicked men. He said, wow, look at these Jews. They're wicked people. Informers, because that was worse. Fighting with each other is one thing, but they told him that they were going to inform on him. He realized, wow, they're informers in the Jewish nation. They're going to go to the king. He said, since this is so, perhaps the Jews don't deserve to be redeemed from slavery. Rashi says, you can interpret it according to this parent meaning, that it's known that it's slain a guy. Medrash interprets it, however, the matter I was wondering about why the Jews considered more sinful than all other several nations in the world. Why are they subject to such back-breaking labor? And now he says, now it become known to me. Indeed, I see they deserve it. Yishma Pari is a Dova Zeba Pari who found out about the situation. Ivakish Laragus Moshe, and he decided he's going to go after to kill Moshe. Yivrach Moshe and Avapavnei Pari, Moshe flew, ran away. Yesha Be'eretz Minyan, and he stayed in the land of Minyan. Yesha Be'er, and he rested at a well. Yishma Pari, now she says they informed of him, trying to get some connections. He delivered them to the executioner to execute him, but the sword had no power over him. And this is the meaning of what Moshe Rabbeinu said. He was saved me from the Pharaoh's sword. So they put him on a thing to kill him, but they pushed his neck turned into a stone. Now she says, this Akav Sham, he was tarried there. This was actually many years later, because this happened when he came to the well was many years later. So he stayed at the bear, and he wanted to meet, as Rashi says, he wanted to meet his bashert at the bear, Laz Yaakov. To the priest of Midian, he had 7 daughters. And they would claim to draw water, and they filled it to the throats of water. To give their father's flock water. Now she says, the most prominent of them then, but he abandoned the idolatry. So they abandoned him from living with them. He started to go away from his own Avodah Zarah, his own idol worship, and he became an outcast. As a Hatim, she says, pools of running water made in the ground. So the shepherds came, and they saw the daughters of Midian. They saw the daughters of Yisrael. They chased them away. Yaakov Meisha, when Moshe Rabbeinu saw that, he stopped them. He arose and he rescued them. And he gave water to the flock. Now she because of the ban, they drove them away because of the ban. They came to Ruel, their father. And they said to them, wow, you came so quick today. And they said, Ish Mitzi, the Egyptian man, Itzi Lanu, this Egyptian man rescued us. When I wrote him from the shepherds, the Gamdala Dalani, he actually not only rescued us, he helped us give the flock water. She said, why? Where is he? Why have you left the man out there? Call him. Let him eat bread. Now she says, Lama Zaftam, he recognized Moshe for being Yaakov. because they told him that the water rose to him. What he really meant, as Ashi says, was maybe he'll marry one of you. So for Sud was put into a nidu, he was excommunicated, nobody would marry his daughters. He said, maybe this man will marry one of you. That's what lechem over here means. That's what happened. Moshe consented to stay with Yisrael. And he gave her Tzipayra, he married his daughter. This the Vayel Rashi says, is the Targum says, and he similarly accepted to expression of an oath. And Moshe Rabbeinu swore to him that he would not move from Midian except with his consent. Ben, he had a child, Yikashmer Gershom, called him Gershom. Because he said, I was a stranger in a foreign land. It took more some days. And the king of Egypt died. And the children of Israel sighed from their labor. And they cried out, and their cries ascended to God. And Avodah from their hard labor, from their labor. Now she says, Moshe Rabbeinu was living in Midian. King of Egypt died. And the Jews required salvation. And Moshe was pastoring. And salvation came through him. Therefore, these sections are connected together. In the section deal with the king of Egypt's affliction and the dealing of Moshe pastoring. Yamas Melech Mitzrayim was stricken with Seiras, not per se that he died, the Medrash said. He was stricken with leprosy. And he would slaughter Jewish infants to bathe in their blood. Medrash says that the doctors told him that he would be able to be healed with the blood of people. So therefore he died. So why did they cry out suddenly? Because he was killing children. So he was killing the children for their blood. That's why the Jewish people cried out. God heard their cries. And God remembered as Abraham, the covenant they made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ash says the cry in the city like people grown nakosam as bis Avram im Avram with the covenant made with Avram. Ayad Lakim is Israel, and God saw the children of Israel. Ayed Lakim, and God Ayed Lakim. Rashi says, and he did not a nosan a aleim leiv, so to say, set his heart upon them and did not conceal his eyes from them. That leads to Chumash for today. We are middle chapter 12 of Tanya. This is the whole beginning of the Beinani, beauty of the service of the Beinani. And the Alter Rebbe says that the selflessness of the Beinani is a person that has the struggle. He has the struggle of doing good and evil. He never does evil, but he still has the struggle of evil. Why does he have the struggle of evil? If he's dominant by his good, he never does bad. That means he's ruled by the good. Why does he have a struggle? So Alter Rebbe explains, why do we have struggles? We're Beinim. We should all be Beinim. Because the evil of the animal soul has not the sole authority and dominion of the city, for the good of the divine soul situated in the brain has its say as well. So therefore, it's unable. The Beinani is the guy that knows all the desires. He knows what a taiva is. He knows what a sin is. He knows what negative is. He has full comprehension about it, but he doesn't bring it into reality. He's unable to implement this desire by clothing itself in limbs. But he can't do it. Whether it's in deed or speech or even thought, he just cannot bring it into a reality because his godly soul doesn't allow him to. In that way, so we're talking even in thought. B'tainuga elamazeh, actual thoughts, meaning to concentrate his attention on the worldly pleasures, with a view to devising means of satisfying the lust, but he just can't do it. So there's the Bain's desire of the worldly pleasure will cause thoughts of such matters to arise from the heart to his mind. These thoughts are beyond his control because he has a desire. Beyond the sphere of dominance of his divine soul, he can, however, control his actual meaning, the conscious and willful thought, so that immediately as he becomes aware to the forbidden thoughts, he dismisses them from his mind, not permitting himself to dwell on them, nor to think of how to implement them, as the Alter Rebbe will state greater length in this chapter. So basically that he has a moment of thought, of desire, that's his nature. He has a nefesh abahamis. So therefore, he's going to come for a moment, and he's going to have a moment to come from his heart to have this desire. The second is going to come to his mind, he's going to push it. That is the main thing. It's going to be a constant struggle to make sure that any negative thought, we're not even going to speech and action, even a thought, any negative thought, that it comes to his seichel, the second it comes to his mind, he pushes it away. Return now to the statement of the divine soul of the Bain, he keeps the desire of his animal soul in check, preventing the expression in deed, speech, and actual thought. Alter Rebbe explains why this is possible. Why is it possible to do that? If I have a heart, I have a desire to do something, to even think something, how do I have the power to push it away? Alter Rebbe says, because the brain rules over the heart. As written in Pashas Pilchus, by the virtue of his innately created nature. That's it. The Eibishter God created a person that Mayach Shalat Alev. You have to, this Mayach Shalat Alev is an important concept to all of us that are striving to do the right thing. You have to remember that the Eibishter created me with a mind and a heart. And my mind rules the situation. For man was so created from birth. Every person, with the power and the will of his brain. Meaning, the will created in his mind understands this to retain himself and control the drive of his heart's lust. That's it. The aim is to create a person that he can control himself. He can say no. Preventing his heart desire from finding expression in deed, word, or thought. That's it. The heart desires, he has no control because he has an nefesh abahamis. He has an animal soul. So he has desires, whatever those desires might be. But he can control, he can say, you know what? I'm not going to even think about this desire. And how do you do that? And he can, with his mind and will in it, divert his attention completely from that which his heart craves and turn his attention to exactly the opposite. That's his seichel. So this principle of mind over heart holds true even with the restraint of one's desire is dictated by the simple logic. Without motive or holiness, the demands of the mind's logic are alone sufficiently powerful to steer one's attention in a direction diametrically opposite to that of the heart craves. That's it. That's the aim to make a person. I'm talking about godliness. I can start thinking about something else. I can start talking to something else. And even furthermore, and it's true, and this is true, whenever he motivates, it's true, particularly in the direction of holiness. When motivated knowledge that this lustful thought and are sinful and thoughts of Torah and mitzvahs are good and praiseworthy, one seeks to divert his attention from the former to the latter, so that both his goal and his motives are holy. His mind will particularly affected by mastering his heart and third. So therefore, if it works by you think about something else, for sure. He said that your godly soul is in your brain. When you're going to start thinking Torah mitzvahs, you'll be able to divert yourself right away from any concept of desire you might have in your heart. You'll see, as is written, and I saw that wisdom surpasses the folly. I see that wisdom, I see the greatness of wisdom from stupidity, so to say. Like light surpasses darkness. So clearly, the use of an analogy indicates that a difficult and unfamiliar idea is to be clarified by comparison with a simple, familiar one. However, nothing seems to be gained by equating wisdom and folly with light and darkness. Both are equally comprehensible. So even assuming that the reference here is deeper aspect of wisdom, namely holiness, as is brought in a classy depiction of man's inclination for good as poor and a wise child, and as folly referred to as evil, as a portrait of evil inclination of an old and foolish king. Still no need for analogy. Clearly, holiness is vastly superior to evil. And Alter Rebbe goes on to explain, the analogy is used here to illustrate how wisdom is superior to folly. The superiority of light over darkness is manifest in the ability of a teeny ray of light to banish a great deal of darkness. Furthermore, the light need not battle with darkness to banish it. Darkness disappears as a matter of course with the appearance of light. In the same way, the wisdom of holiness superior to the folly of evil. A mere ray of holiness suffices to banish as a matter of course a great deal of evil. And that's the analogy. The analogy what is brought down in Shir HaShirim, that over there, just like a little bit of light chase away light, a lot of darkness easily, automatically. So too, Shlomo Melech says that a little bit of Chachma of Torah, a little bit of the wisdom of Torah will transform a person, will chase away any kind of negative he might have. Then now look in the words of Alter Rebbe. Peter is just like light has superiority, power, and dominion over dark. A little bit of a physical light chase away automatically. I mean, it takes away a lot of darkness. It goes away, darkness moves away from it. Love automatically, from itself, by itself, without any effort on the part of light. So too is driven away automatically. A lot of foolishness, of klippa, which is in the left side of a human being with animal soul. As our sages say, person doesn't do a sin, only a man does not sin unless a spirit of stupidity, folly enters. What chases away thus our sages describe the desire of the animal soul as folly, hence they are automatically banished by the wisdom of the divine soul in them. Which desires to rule alone in the city. The godly soul wants to be the ruler of this body. The slavish so that he'll be able to pervade, he'll be able to fill the entire body. And the skarim le'el, the three garments, in the entire body, as I mentioned before. Which are the garments? Which is thought, speech, and action. From the 613 mitzvahs of the Torah, Kiniskalel, as I mentioned before. And that's really Meir Shalta Lev. We just introduced Alter Rebbe. Introduced us to the concept of Meir Shalta Lev. And what means Meir Shalta Lev? Not only that the concept the Eibishter made, that in natural concept of that the mind, so to say, rules the heart, the mind rules the emotions, and it needs to be the emotions want to be ruled by the mind. That's what God made it to begin with, but there's much a deeper thing in this. And that's the analogy of the darkness over light, the light over darkness. That the mind rules the heart. The meaning is that it rules in a way that when you start thinking in a different way, the heart changes automatically. It's not like it's a rulership where it has to fight with the heart. No. That's what King Solomon says. I see the greatness of wisdom over stupidity, like the concept of light over darkness. Because just like light over darkness, light automatically it transforms darkness. It doesn't have to fight with it. You bring a little light, it automatically. So too wisdom. If you would only bring wisdom, if I would only bring wisdom into my existence, then I would automatically transform Klippus and Sitrach. I would automatically, because that's the concept of mind over matter. Chachma, if you bring Chachma into the situation, Chachma of the general Chachma, general wisdom, but for surely Chachma Satera. If I bring Chachma of the Teda into the situation, automatically the emotions would disappear. So all the emotions that come into my existence it's natural. I have certain emotions naturally, but then I bring in a little Chachma Satera, and then automatically all the emotions will fly away. All emotion disappear. That's the beautiful learning that we can learn from today's time. Today's the 21st day of the month, which is in the Tehillim, is chapter 104, 105. If you do those two chapters, do the Chitas. Wish you all a wonderful day, a happy day, a healthy day in the Mid-Shem. See you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll continue. Chitas.